Hey, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert. Colin, what do you got to say? And my takeaway is Justin Herbert, through 3 playoff games, his numbers are actually slightly better than Peyton Manning through 3 playoff games. He threw the ball. He threw a fastball to Keenan Allen underneath. He needed to have a little tempo on that. He had opportunities in the game. But, he had 2 bad coaches to start, and now he's got an awful offensive line. Everybody loved the Chargers and the points. I kept saying, guys, you can't have the 32nd best offensive line. It's bad in pass pro, run blocking, and your Hampton plays a play, and he's out. Like, they just don't have enough players. For the record, you want to know another quarterback the last 2 years who have regressed badly? Patrick Mahomes. Why? His own line stinks. It's the one thing, maybe Josh Allen is immune to it. Patrick Mahomes has been blown out twice in Super Bowls. Not because Tyreek Hill left. He won those. Because his offensive line was bad. So 65% of the rushing yards last night, Justin Herbert. They just can't stay healthy. And all their injuries seem to be offensive line and running back. So where they're thin to begin with. So, Justin Herbert is 2 things. A quarterback and this year a piñata. And so I don't know what you do. I wouldn't touch the Chargers. Everybody liked them. And I said, I love their kicker. I love their coach. I love Justin's toughness. But this offense is not good enough to win playoff games on the road against a really good New England team. So Patrick Mahomes, the last 2 years, everybody's like, he's not the same. Well, why would that be? It's his offensive line and pass pro. And for the record, Mahomes' lack of a run game. You can't put everybody says, well, Josh Allen, what does he have? A Pro Bowl left tackle, James Cook, and excellent tight ends. Now, I don't love the Buffalo roster. They have a great slot, couple good tight ends, star back, Pro Bowl left tackle. That is the Bill Walsh Niners compared to what Justin Herbert's working with right now. J-Mac with the news.
All right, it's truly something how everyone is so eager to criticize Justin Herbert. And the criticism is completely unwarranted. I was live streaming that game, and we had a significant number of, let's label them as intensely devoted, Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes fans tuning in. The reality that emerges is that when commentators like Colin bring up Mahomes for comparison, people retort with, yeah, but he's won a Super Bowl. He's accomplished that. The counterpoint is that Mahomes had substantially superior coaching and more complete rosters earlier in his career. That's the first crucial distinction. The second common rebuttal is, yeah, but he reached a Super Bowl. Even if he was soundly defeated in one, he still got there. In that particular Super Bowl loss, he still had Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid, and others. Contrast that with a scenario like the 2023 season where the offensive line was a major weakness. It held up reasonably well against teams like the Houston Texans and Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, but completely collapsed against the Philadelphia Eagles, to the point where the offense couldn't even advance past midfield. Justin Herbert was pressured on 25 dropbacks in this recent game. There is no question he needed to perform better in certain moments. He himself would acknowledge that. There were instances where protection wasn't the primary issue, and he had opportunities to make a play. Simultaneously, his receivers were dropping passes. Despite being pressured 25 times, being the team's leading rusher, and facing constant duress, he actually posted a higher adjusted completion percentage, factoring in drops and throwaways, than other playoff quarterbacks like Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, and Trevor Lawrence, based on the games played at that time. He was pressured on 57% of his total snaps. More staggering, he was pressured on 81% of his passing attempts. 81%. The run game provided no relief, offering zero support to alleviate the burden on him. There were simply no easy throws or explosive plays generated. It's a difficult situation to assess. The reality, which I emphasized repeatedly before this game, as Colin highlighted, but I truly underscored, is this. If the Los Angeles Chargers had won, it would have marked a historic anomaly. They would have been the team with the worst-graded offensive line in Pro Football Focus history to win a playoff game. It would have been extraordinary. We witnessed directly why that unit was such a liability. The issue isn't isolated to pass protection. It catastrophically affects the running game as well. They couldn't establish any ground attack. So your quarterback is under siege, you have no rushing threat, and pass catchers are failing to secure the football. In such a context, settling for field goals becomes inevitable. So, how much of this loss falls on Justin Herbert? Not a substantial portion. In many ways, the remarkable achievement was that this team even reached the playoffs. Sometimes that in itself is the accomplishment. It's unrealistic to point to other quarterbacks and claim they would have magically triumphed in identical circumstances. You cannot credibly assert that Patrick Mahomes would have definitively succeeded because we haven't seen him operate behind such a deficient line in a playoff setting. I've previously presented data showing Mahomes' statistics when pressured 20 or more times in a game. The numbers were not impressive. Josh Allen is arguably the quarterback most resilient to pressure due to his unique physical stature and style, but even he struggles significantly under constant duress, as seen against the Houston Texans. However, that level of physical punishment is unsustainable long-term. We witnessed the toll in his last playoff game. The question becomes, can he endure that for several more seasons? History suggests otherwise. Ask physically imposing quarterbacks like Michael Vick, Cam Newton, or Andrew Luck. They'll tell you, one season you can absorb the punishment, the next your body simply can't. It's a short-lived advantage. Thus, we can mock Justin Herbert and invoke the tired, charging trope all we want, but the truth is, it's astonishing they were competitive at all. The team was decimated by injuries, and their offensive line was effectively non-existent. When the Kansas City Chiefs faced similar offensive line woes, they missed the playoffs entirely. Patrick Mahomes could not elevate that roster to postseason victory. Justin Herbert did exactly that. He willed them into the playoffs. To then expect him to win a Super Bowl under those conditions is to demand he accomplish something no quarterback has ever done. I've stated this before and stand by it. If Josh Allen or Justin Herbert were to win a Super Bowl with their current roster constructions, it would unequivocally represent the greatest carry job in NFL history. This game illustrated precisely what Herbert would have needed to do to win. It was an overwhelming ask. He needed just a fraction more time, a single play from his supporting cast, and yes, he needed to be marginally sharper himself. So, apportioning blame. From a macro, big-picture perspective, almost none falls on Herbert, perhaps zero. Zooming into the micro details of this specific game, maybe 10–15% could be attributed to him not being at his absolute peak. But that slight dip is entirely understandable given the circumstances. When no one is getting open, the run game is inert, protection is collapsing, and you're taking a physical beating, expecting flawless performance is irrational. Sometimes critics invent hypothetical scenarios where other quarterbacks have succeeded with various rosters, but they fail to acknowledge the exceptional degree of dysfunction Herbert is navigating. As someone who consistently elevates Josh Allen, arguing for his MVP candidacy, praising him extensively, I can objectively state, Justin Herbert's situation is worse. It's not particularly close. I've grouped both quarterbacks together regarding the carry job narrative, but Herbert's would be on an even more extreme level. It's acceptable to acknowledge that gradient. I didn't blame Patrick Mahomes for his Super Bowl loss to the Eagles. I pointed out specific moments where he could have been better, but I didn't attribute the loss solely to him. He faced a superior team and defense. The same principle applies here. You can discuss how a quarterback needs to improve in specific areas without saddling him with the entire burden of defeat. Using past team accomplishments as a get-out-of-jail-free card when analyzing an individual's performance in a specific game is logically inconsistent. Since Colin invoked the Mahomes comparison, the point stands. You can't simply say, well, this quarterback won in 2019. That's irrelevant to this conversation. We're not debating legacy, we're analyzing a football game. I guarantee you, within the Chargers' locker room and coaching staff, not a single individual blames Justin Herbert for that loss. No player is going home telling their family, if only Justin were a little better, we'd have won. Not one. Furthermore, peers around the league, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Tom Brady watching that game, are not thinking, Herbert just needed to be better. They understand the sport at a granular level. They recognize the context. But those are my reflections. I am genuinely eager to hear yours. What are your thoughts on Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree or disagree. Let's engage in some discussions, have some spirited debates, but ultimately, let's enjoy the conversation. Please consider subscribing. We are building an incredible community here and would love for you to be part of it. I aim to create something we all feel connected to and excited about, and I believe we're making significant progress. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.